2019. And when we find ourselves in place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love's middle and light. Where proves mystery's age, to bow and to bend, we'll not be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, and by turning will come down right. Peace is flowing, like a river, flowing out to you and me, spreading out into desert, setting all our spirits free. Love is flowing like a river, flowing out to you and me, spreading out into the desert, setting all our spirits free.
Community a chuoine úsle. Agus ní éting labhairt cé có hásach is atá chun an symposium seo a thosnú chun é a chóirt chun saoil ansa agus tugann a bhechas de rendi agus na daoine go léir a thugann cuireadh sin dúine tacht an lá úntach sa an chéad lá de mína fiabhra lá le Brigid ansa a bhaile in Nóirín. Agus mar a dúirt mé a réir ní rás as baile ach Súilleabháin ag an amsa agus bhí sin nuair a bhí a casa le medfachs. Agus ní éting rá cé có tábhairt agus atá sé chun teacht thar neis a ríist agus díobh sé freisin. Is am de tas nua díobh. Tas nua. So caiith sibh bheith in bhór néisteacht agus in bhór hóisteacht. Mar tá buil ann nach bhaig tú an teachtracht, nach bhaig tú an rud a tháinig tú an sa chun a gháil. Happy feast day. Had you terrified I was going to keep talking in Irish. But I can't tell you how excited I am to be here and to bring to birth this Gladdening Light Symposium. And so you are all little mystical lights in yourself with a little light shining on everybody. Brigid, whose feast day it is today, Celtic goddess, Christian saint, is a trickster. And so she has taken away my voice. And so, as the Jewish phrase says, man trach, gat loch, man plans and God laughs, I can just as easily say, man trach, Brigid loch, which is we plan and Brigid it laughs. So she's certainly laughing, but it's lovely just to have my speaking voice to tell you how important, of course, this time is. In Ireland, it's the first day of spring. It's the time that we come from the half of darkness into the half of light. So it's so appropriate to be here at Gladdening Light, as midwives, to that light in ourselves, that light of new beginnings, new longings. You know, St. Augustine says, you have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our hearts will not rest until they rest in you. And so this is our longing that has brought us all here to Gladdening Light, to be together, to birth that new beginning, to birth that longing here on this so important time of the Feast of St. Brigid. As I said, she was a of poetry, healing, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later on, because I have a little present for you, and also smith's craft, because of course her emblem is fire, and of course, as you know, fire is such a powerful energy, because it transforms metal, molds it. And just like we are a piece of clay in Christ's hand to be molded, so too fire is the element that we call upon, and Brigid called on fire. A time of great new beginnings and longings, and of course a time to be awake. Seamus Heaney has that lovely line, "Had I not been awake, I would have missed it." Do you want to repeat it? Had I not been awake, I would have missed it. And again, just echoing scripture, keep your lamps trimmed and burning. A time of longing. John O'Donoghue has this beautiful blessing for longing, which I'm birthing you with now, as midwives, as we start into our time together. This is his blessing for longing. Blessed be the longing that brought you here and quickens your soul with wonder. May you have the courage this weekend, may you have the courage to listen to the voice of desire that disturbs you when you have settled for something safe. May you have the wisdom to enter generously into your own unease, to discover the new direction your longing wants you to take. May the forms of your belonging in love, in creativity, in friendship be equal to the grandeur and the call of your soul. May the one you long for you. May your dreams gradually reveal the destination of your desire. May a secret providence guide and nurture your heart and your feeling. May you never be haunted by ghost structures of old desire. May you accept the urgency with which your longing longs for the divine. May you know the urgency with which God longs for you. So I'm going to go back over those phrases, a few of them, just a few of them. And I'm going to replace you with I. And I want you to repeat them after me. Blessed be the longing that brought me here. And quickens my soul with wonder. May I have the courage to listen. Voice of desire. That disturbs me when I have settled for something safe. May I have the wisdom to enter generously into my own unease. To discover this weekend the direction my longing wants me to take. May the forms of my belonging in love, in friendship, in creativity be equal to the grandeur and call of my soul. May the one I long for me. May I never be haunted by ghost structures of old damage. May I know the urgency with which God longs for me. So as we begin our symposium together, it's very appropriate to begin with our 8 great principles of Christianity, which are the Beatitudes, absolutely. The Beatitudes being the first sermon of Christ, called Beatitude because they all begin blessed, which is the Latin for blessed. Benedictus, benedictus. And so it's appropriate because Brigid, she dedicated her whole life to the 8 principles, to the Beatitudes. And her monastery, she had her nuns live by the principles. And her favourite one was, blessed are the merciful. Mercy shall be shown unto them. And so I'm going to call on Owen and Moley to sing the Beatitudes. And while I do so, I'm going to walk through with the light, with 2 lights in my hands. I want you to stretch your hand out in my direction and to make your wish, your prayer to Brigid on this day. I then will bring the 2 candles back. I'll come up and I'll light the central candle there, which is the candle of Brigid. In her monasteries, she kept a perpetual flame alive, a flame, and that flame was lighting between the 4th century and the 15th century until the Reformation. So we're going to keep this flame alive all through our conference. And then even at the end, if you want to bring a little candle yourself and take the light of Brigid back to your hearth, you can do that. So I'll ask Owen and Moley, and if you feel like, just put your hand gently in the direction as I'm walking to make your prayer for yourself, for our troubled universe, whatever. But that these flames will embody this light, these 2 lights will embody our petitions and our prayers of the highest to Brigid.
Truly I say to you, gather in my name, I am with you. Amen. Truly I say to you, gather in my name, I am with you. Blessed are the poor in spirit, the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Blessed are the gentle, they shall inherit the land. Amen. Truly I say to you, gather in my name, I am with you. Blessed are those who mourn, they shall be consoled. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for justice, the justice of God shall be theirs. Amen. Truly I say to you, gather in my name, I am with you. Blessed are the merciful, mercy shall be shown unto them. Blessed are the pure of heart, they shall behold their God. Amen. Truly I say to you, gather in my name, I am with you. Blessed are those who bring peace, they shall be children of God. Blessed are those who suffer in the cause of right, the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Amen. Truly I say to you, gather in my name, I am with you. Gather in my name. Gather in my name. I am with Hallelujah, Hallelujah, stu Maria love. Hallelujah, studi of loves. Hallelujah, Hallelujah, stum alle love. Hallelujah, storian of loves. Han genolas av vaidan, Noratoria Kaljanov, Kapini dover snaju de gogradon. Alleluia, Alleluia, stum alia love. Alleluia, sturigan of loves. Súilleabháin Caminus adebat, septies quam solebat, et sancti tui Domine, in medio solebat, Ananias dicebat, Sanctus Deus, Azarias solebat, Sanctus fortis, Misael clara voce dicebat, Sanctus, et immortalis, miserere nobis, gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto, sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper, et in saecula saeculorum. Amen. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. From glen to glen and down the mountainside, the summer's here, and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go, and I must bide. But come you back when summer's in the meadow, and all the valleys hushed and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. And when you come and all the flowers are dying, and I am dead as the dead I well may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying. say an Ave there for me, and I will hear the soft you tread above me, and all my grave will warm and sweeter be, and then you'll kneel and you'll whisper that you love me. Oh, Daddy boy, oh, Daddy boy, I love you so.
Good morning. Pilgrims of Winter Park. My name's Owen.
My name is Micheál, which is the Irish for Michael, but my friends call me Moley.
And for those who have not been studying the program diligently, we're brothers. And the lady who was just with you this morning, that's our mother, Nóirín. And me and Micheál have been here before at this beautiful gathering of art and spirit. And so we're so honored and grateful to Randy and to all the forces that made this happen, to have our mother Nóirín here as well too. Yeah. So
It was great to be invited back to this font and to have a word in the title of the symposium that would strike the fear of God into any artist, and that is the word science.
It's pushing the boundaries of vulnerability.
Yes.
Randy, yeah. But we feel up to the task.
I'm up to the task, yeah. I'm a mediocre lover, but I'm a terrible scientist.
Just in case any of you were wondering about that.
It's a bit early for that type of thing.
Well, it's after lunchtime in Ireland, so.
It's nearly wine o'clock in Ireland. But that, we opened with an inherited store of song that we had from Nóirín, our mother there. The Beatitudes, of course, which is a setting by a monk in a monastery very close to us called Glenstal Abbey, and a beautiful setting it is too. I hope one or two of you are planning to steal it and run away
Good,
with
it's
it.
a great choir here.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful sound, yeah. Perhaps we may reprise that song later, so we have it rehearsed now too.
And then we went into an Irish language lamentation called The Seven Sorrows of Mary, which is a very, very old melody, almost pre-Christian, with a Christianized message and verses. And from that we went into a much more modern medieval Gregorian chant called Caminus Ardebat. And that's what me and my brother like to do, is to not let you know what's coming next.
Yeah.
We learned that from our mother as well.
I know. Yeah. And then following that, we even went into another one.
The immortal song of Danny Boy, which has within it encoded the genetic strand of grief itself, the oral expression of love lost, scientifically proven to bring tears to eyes, empirically tested, peer reviewed.
So we don't usually drop you in the deep end like that at the beginning, but we've decided that if you wanted to see an experiment, we would just do Danny Boy up front.
And from that, we wanted to take you to this other song that is also in the English language, but it has one Irish language refrain in it. Is éireann ní nósan cé hí, and for Ireland I'll not speak her name. And it's a love song that calls in all of the majesty of the natural world and declares this extraordinary love. And then at the end of each verse, the singer says, but for Ireland, I'll not speak her name. So we feel that perhaps this has an embryonic secret within it of love that is not to be spoken too early, love that has yet to emerge, something that is so gentle and so tender that words would do it an injustice. There's a home by the great Avonmore that flows into the broad open sea, and the rivers that break through the foam, and the bulrushes wave in the breeze. The green ivy clings round the door, and the birds sweetly sing on each tree. To my darling sweet notes they do pour. Is éireann ní nósan cé hí. Her father has riches in store of cattle, corn, and great wealth, and fine land by a lovely Glandor, whilst I have my youth and good health. For she's the fond maid I adore, and kindly she waits there for me by the old stile in lovely Glandor. Is éireann ní nósan cé hí. Like a sick man who longs for the dawn, I would long for one sight of her eye, and I'll wait for my own Colleen Bawn, as she's waiting for me by the stile. I would climb the highest hills of the land, and would swim to the depths of the sea, to get a touch from her lily white hand. Is éireann ní nósan cé hí. Is éireann ní nósan. Éireann ní nósan cé hí.
So from Danny Boy, one of the most mortally conscious songs, we went into Is éireann ní nósan cé hí, one of the most alive songs in the Irish tradition.
and to keep that theme of aliveness, keep the pulse going, we will read you a poem. For to see the intertwining of technology and the new world with the faithful, if I may call you so, it is truly the science of worship. And a rare thing, as you know. And within this modern movement of worship, there is the idea of an interfaith movement. For a scientific approach, one must have parity of esteem with elements and break down barriers and see how things react when mixed together. And I was lucky enough 2 years ago to attend the ordination of my mother, Nóirín, when she became an interfaith minister at an ordination in London with the One Spirit Interfaith Seminary there, which was set up by a Benedictine monk, Brother David Stendelrast, an Austrian fellow who has a tranche of books on gratefulness. And I was inspired to write a piece about that event. And it's an honor to present it to you now. Interfaith. Divinizing. Divinizing. The space amid faith. Ordinance with tears and lips quivering, that the minister is in each one of us was unknown to me. Ritual space, where time slows to an ecstatic drip, and the breath of God is as close as the slumbering lover you love to listen to. And now is the time. Now is the time where we are stepping out to grasp our right to pass the Spirit blessing. But who is braver? These new ministers, or we who dare to seek their original blessing? And to think they do this for love, and to think they do this for love and love's time has come. Divinizing. Divinizing. The space amid faith. Ordinance with tears and lips quivering, that the minister is in each one of us was unknown to me. And ritual space where time slows to an ecstatic drip, and the breath of God is as close as the slumbering lover we love to listen to. And now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time where we are stepping out to grasp our right to pass the Spirit blessing. Now is the time where we are stepping out to grasp our right to pass the Spirit blessing. But who is braver? Who is braver? These new ministers, or we who dare to seek their original blessing? Who is braver, these new ministers, or we who dare to seek their original blessing and to think they do this for love, and to think we do this for love and love's time, to think we do this for love and love's time has come. You.
We'll do one more. Maybe will they sing Crazy Love? Yeah. Will you sing one with us? You've no choice now. One of Ireland's great scientists of love is the great and ancient Belfast mystic, Mr. Van Morrison. And you talk about bringing love down to its most basic constituent elements. Van Morrison is always able to ground these infinite emotions with the most small and precise lyrics and expressions. So this song has 2 words in the chorus, which probably sums it up, actually. And it goes like this. Hang on. You give love, 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 crazy love. 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 Nice. I can feel your heartbeat from 1,000 miles, and heaven's open every time you smile. But when I come to you, it's right along, running to you like a river song. You give me love, 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 crazy love. You give me love, 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 crazy love. When I'm returning from so far away, you give me some sweet loving, or brightens up my day. Take away my troubles, take away my grief, take away my heartache every night like a thief. You give me love, 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 crazy love. You give me love, 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 crazy love. And I need you in the daytime. I need you. And I need you in the night. And I wanna put my arms around you, kiss and hug you tight. You know when I'm returning from so far away, you give me some sweet loving, or brightens up my day. And it makes me righteous, and it makes me whole, makes me mellow right down to my soul. You give me love, 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 a crazy love. You give me love, 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 crazy love. Let's do it. You give me love, 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 crazy love. You give me love, 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 crazy Oh yeah. Okay. I'm on. I'll give you a poem by Seamus Heaney. The only way to follow this fella's poem is to double down with a bit of Seamus Heaney. So the late great poet Seamus Heaney is a Nobel laureate of literature and really the poet of our parents' generation, who was articulating a whole new incarnation, a whole new embodiment of what Ireland and Irishness has become and is becoming. And this poem is about an early medieval Irish saint called Saint Kevin. And Saint Kevin was the Francis of the ancient Celtic world, so he had a very special relationship with the natural world and with animals. And this is a beautiful story that we were all told when we were in school about Saint Kevin. And Saint Kevin, one day, he wakes up and he's going to go hard at the prayer. He's going to go hammer and tongs at prayer all day long, and he's going to do it just right. And he's going into his cell, little beehive huts that these early medieval monks had. They're called cells. And he races into his cell. And the Irish monks prayed like this, you know. And he sticks his hands out. And the cell is too small, so one hand has to stick out the window. And Jesus, he's going to give it socks, like. And he's going for it. Just the pure power of prayer streaming out of him. And anyway, doesn't a little bird, a blackbird, land in his palm and decide that's the perfect place to make its nest? And so now Kevin is faced with a little dilemma, and he decides anyway, that's it. He has to keep his arm out until the bird has made its nest, but then the bird decides, isn't this the perfect place to lay her eggs? And so Kevin has to keep the palm out, and the bird hatches the eggs, and then he has to wait until the young are fed and flown. Eventually they're gone. Kevin gets to move his arm, put his arm down. So that's the story of St. Kevin and the blackbird. But Seamus Heaney, of course, recognizes that this is the exact, specific, precise, algorithmically perfect description of the power of prayer and the true nature of total, self-forgetting, unconditional love. And he writes this poem called St. Kevin and the Blackbird. The saint is kneeling, arms stretched out inside his cell, but the cell is narrow. So one upturned palm is out the window, straight as a crossbeam, when a blackbird lands and lays in it and settles down to nest. The saint feels the warm eggs, the small breast, the neat tucked head and claws, and finding himself linked into the network of eternal life is moved to pity. Now the saint must stay with his arm out in the wind and the sun like a branch until the young are hatched and fledged and flown. And since the whole thing is imagined anyhow, imagine being Kevin. Which is he? Self-forgetful, or in agony all the time, from his neck on out down through his aching forearms? Are his fingers sleeping? Does he still feel his toes? Or has the shut-eyed blank of underneath crept up through him, alone and clear in love's deep mirror, to labor and not to seek reward, he prays. A prayer he makes with his whole body. For he has forgotten bird, forgotten prayer,
and on the river bank, forgotten the river's name.
Lead, kindly light, amid the encircling gloom, lead thou me on. The night is dark, and I am far from home, lead thou me on. Keep thou my feet, I do not ask to see the distant scene, one step enough for me. I was not ever thus, nor prayed that thou shouldst lead me on. I love to choose and see my path, but now lead thou me on. I love the garish day, and spite of fear, pride ruled my will. Remember not past years. So long thy power hath blessed me, sure it still will lead me on. O'er moor and fen, o'er crag and torrent, till the night is gone. And with the morn those angel faces smile, which I have loved long since and lost a while. Lead, gladdening light.
So we're coming to a close, and it's always so moving being with these two lads that I could cut the heads off at times. But, but I have two little stories about them, about each of them. Well, I have lots of stories, but a lot of them I couldn't tell you. But when Owen was about 4, I was taking him for a walk up in Clare Glens. It's a nature trail beside where we lived, and we were going for a swim. But to go through it, you had to go through a field. And so I was holding his hand, and there was a farmer next door in the field, and he was tending a bull. And the fence between our field and where the bull was very small. So anyway, the farmer came over to us and he said, "You're okay." He said, go off that way now, and I'll look after the bull so he won't get at you. So I'm holding Only's little hand and we're going up. And he said, "Mama, are you afraid?" And I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Only, are you afraid?" "No, I'm not." He said, "But my tummy is." The mole man then, when we were, his father, who passed over recently, got a sabbatical in Boston College. And we were moving. Moley was about 4, Owen was 8. And we were moving, and of course the night before we left, we had all our cases packed in the hallway. And I said to the lads, now we still have to say our night prayers now, come on. You know, even though we're very busy, we have to say our night prayers. So I took the two of them up to say their night prayers, and they jumped into their little beds, and I don't know what prayer we said anyway. But when we'd finished, Moley said, "Goodbye now, God, we're going to America tomorrow."
I mean, scientifically it makes sense.
Yeah. There's some theology there behind that.
But since Moley penned that very moving poem about my ordination, I just wanted to share something with you, since I haven't got a singing voice. I wrote an old autobiography in 2008, ever before I thought I would ever become a minister. And so this is what I wrote about when I was a young girl. The little priestess. I can't remember exactly when I first began the ritual of stealing into my parents' bedroom to say Mass. But I can recall vividly the moment when the whole fantasy fell apart. You see, every day around 4 o'clock, that parental bedroom became a private chapel where I said, rather than heard, Mass. The centrepiece of that room was a small fireplace of brown and grey tiles, which faced the big bay window. I would stand up on the little ledge of the fireplace, and being ahead of my time, remember this is 60 years ago, being ahead of my time, I would face out towards the congregation. The gangly oak tree outside sang and danced. Isaiah, for you should go out in joy and be led back in peace, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. To the left of the altar, on the ledge of the fireplace, was a statue of Mary. At its dead center, the dead center of the altar, was a black and white crucifix with a three-dimensional image of Jesus. With my mother and father safely away, they were both business people. My mother was a teacher. I imagined the room was full of characters, all hanging on my every word for redemption and salvation. We quietly sang, Pater Noster, Regina Caeli Laetare, while my invisible flock made their way towards me for Holy Communion, which I doled out to them in the form of round white mints. My sacristy was a landing outside the door, the bedroom door. Now one afternoon, I passed my big brother there after I just said Mass. When I was returning the stole, which was a dark green scarf of my mother's, to the chest of drawers. Noel, I said, he's my brother, I'm going to be a priest when I grow up, I told him excitedly. Nóirín, don't be so ridiculous. You can't even be an altar boy, not to talk of a priest. That was the first time I realized that the priest saying Mass every Sunday at Caroline would never be a woman. Devastated that I could never minister to humans, my mission then became to convert, at the very least, the animals around me. Very little conversion needed. The animals have an innate sense of the spiritual. They're undercover mystics. I started with my little cocker spaniel, Banner. After school each day, when all the poor dog wanted was to be taken for a walk, I'd first insist that we bless the walk with a prayer. And I'd tickle him under his front paws and sing to him. He'd wriggle his little head from side to side with great pleasure. I firmly believed that this little dog was really sent to me from his anagrammatic namesake, God. I then progressed on to my mother's hens. They supplied us with what are now called organic, free-range eggs. And to show my thanks, I vowed to bring them to God through listening. Every morning and evening, with my little Sugan chair, little straw chair, under my arm, I invaded the hen house and insisted that these fowl sing the Our Father to be saved. And as I chanted each line, I waited for them to respond. And they did. They did. Henpecked into conversion. One more.
We could, yeah. Yeah, we'll give you one of our own songs. So, yeah.
Whew, follow that.
Follow that.
Yes, you see, all you need to do to achieve the next chapter of your life is to write an autobiography. And then you'll have to prove it wrong. It's beautiful. Thank you, Nóirín. This is a song me and Owen wrote also when we were following our mother around. We do all our best work following our mother around. And we were in India, and it was raining very heavily, and the mystical nature of the search for meaning in life was weighing heavily upon our early 20s minds.
We were there. It was an interfaith ashram, actually, called Fireflies,
where the guru of the ashram was actually nature itself. So there was no.
Yes, it was an ashram with no guru, they told us.
Corruption was nil.
Yeah. Everyone was really happy.
It wasn't a great ashram.
No pain and suffering at all to be seen. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And
you're looking for your money back. Yeah.
And I suppose we wrote this song. I mean, before really we ended up having the privilege of hearing so many wise people speak, and indeed we were trying to make it in the music industry. I was a rapper, and Owen was a metaler, and we didn't know that we were destined to become, privy to the wisdom industries, as we have.
Yeah. We left
especially, or to sing in the morning at all. I didn't know.
No.
I had no idea.
Didn't know it was possible.
I didn't know it was possible. So we'll dedicate this song to you, and indeed our search for meaning, and to commend you for investing in yourselves by being very much here.
Mm-hmm. Searching for the center, going to the places where the skies are blue. Temper, no teacher, guru, mentor can ever tell the story but you. Temper, you better remember this, that every day is another of your lover's kisses. And temper, we've gotta be strong. You see the wood from the trees and the right from wrong. From wrong. Temper, searching for the center, going to the places where skies are blue. Temper, no teacher, guru, mentor can ever tell the story but you. Can ever tell the story, it's in you. Temper, oh. Mm-hmm. Temper, oh. Temper, oh.
Which part? Because enlightenment meant, yo, is where we're headed, so search for that centre, you won't regret it. The guest is feted to the club on high, and only superstars may apply, but I get scared, you, in my life, so I smile to keep my mind protected, and we are all deeply connected, yo, not to be ignored, but not celebrated, you articulated, yo, cause we're graded, so let's hold hands and do the countdown thing, cause you bring that laddie da. Keep the peace and follow that star, you're a wise one, but coming from afar, now, so temper wherever you are,
Temper, temper, oh. Temper, temper, oh. Temper, temper, oh. You temper, temper, oh.
Thank you very much.
Our mother Nóirín, everybody.
And gladdening light and birthing within ourselves new beginnings, which is the first. Brigid there, that this is the time of new beginning, the time to be awake, the time to be aware, and to take us back to opening ourselves to the meaning of why we've gathered here. You all know the huge trouble you've gone to be here. All the things you've left behind. Thinking to yourself, maybe I should be taking the dog for a walk. But no, you should be here. You should be here because at GladdeningLight Symposium, things happen. On St. Brigid's Day, things happen. Tomorrow is the Feast of Candlemas, which is Mary. And then the third is Rhodes. He's letting me down a little at the moment, but he'll be back on track. Just at that moment of preparing you. As T.S. Eliot said, most people think he was English, but he was actually born in America. He says, we had the experience, but missed the meaning. So to open ourselves to that experience, here we're having it, but we mustn't miss the meaning of being here. Because it's a miracle. Look at us all gathered here on the 1st of February. And so I want to mark that with, again, John O'Donoghue, a blessing for a new beginning. And this is for you now. In out-of-the-way places of your heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched you. It has watched your desire, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the grey promises that sameness whispered. Heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent. Wondered, would you always live like this? Wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight when you're... And out you stepped onto GladdeningLight, out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again. A path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this new beginning. Unfurl your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. And then the delight when your courage kindled, and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream. A path of plenitude opening before yourself. Unfurl your spirit to adventure. Learn to find ease in risk. Hold nothing back. soon, we will be home in a new rhythm. For our soul senses the world that awaits us. What are you doing? Farewell.
Farewell, my friends, I'm bound for Canaan. I'm traveling through the wilderness. Your company has been delightful. You who doth put my mind at rest. I'm going there perforce to leave you, perhaps never to meet again. But if we never have the pleasure, I hope we meet on Canaan land. Farewell, my friends, I'm bound for Canaan. I'm traveling through the wilderness. Your company has been delightful. You who doth put my mind at rest. I'm hoping there perforce to leave you, perhaps never to meet again. But if we never have the pleasure, I hope we meet on Canaan land. I hope we meet on Canaan land. I hope we meet on Canaan land. Up.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you throughout the day. Thank you. Thank you, Randy.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Caleb. Thanks, Caleb, too.
Well, what a way to start. Thank you. The exemplar of tenderness right here. And Brigid is a trickster. Brigid is a trickster. Welcome, I'm Randy Robertson. I've met almost all of you. I have my Brigid cloth plucked from the dew this morning early and wrapped around my tender ankle for healing. I hope you have enjoyed this morning. I want to just invite you to stroll down to Park Avenue and have some lunch and enjoy yourselves and be back for Matthew Fox at 2 p.m. It's going to be lovely. Thank you so much.
We have some broths too that we gave out. We put out outside the hotel last night to great things. So I brought all of this flannel for Randy and for the president too, for his house. But there was a lot left over. So it was like the loaves. Well, of course, the story of Brigid is that when she went to get territory for her convent, the chieftain said, "Only as much as your cloak will cover." So she threw her cloak down and it went all over 200 miles. So the same happened with this. This went 200 miles as well. So Moley carefully cut it up, and so there's a little piece for you all that has been blessed by Brigid and has great healing properties over the year and will bring you great luck too.
Yeah. So come help yourselves.
Just come and grab it.
To one of these.
Thank you. We'll see you this afternoon.